A very warm good evening to one and all. Welcome back to the today's session. Today we have our guest speaker, Dr. R. Lakshminarayana sir, Assistant Professor from Department of Yogavijnana, National Sanskrit University, Tirupati. We welcome you, sir. We welcome all the participants for the today's session. And today's topic will be regarding therapeutic aspects of traditional yoga. So, which is all needed like in the daily life regarding the to become what we can say remove all the stress and maintain ourselves in a healthy way. So we welcome you, sir. A special welcome to you, and thank you all for accepting our request within a short span. And uh, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So over to you, sir. The
Thank,
session is all yours.
thank you, madam. Now I am audible, madam.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You are audible, sir.
Sadasiva Samarambam, Krishnamacharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Parampara. First of all, I am very much thankful to Dr. Lavanya Sai, madam, National Organizer Secretary for All India Homeopathic Student and Youth Association. Thank you, madam, for inviting this webinar. I am also respectful pronouns to Professor Arpana Sandeep Parikh, madam, Organizing Secretary for All India Homeopathic Students and Youth Association. My humble pronouns to Professor Dr. Nivedita Patnaik, National Vice President of All India Homeopathic Student and Youth Association. I am very much happy that the 12th Ayush Vijnana Sammelana 2025 is organizing this number of webinar series on the themes of Ayush, Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy, etc. Here, my role, I am selected therapeutic aspects of traditional yoga. I am going to touch the two important aspects in this modern life scenario. One is what is a traditional yoga, and the second topic is how it is exclusively useful for the purpose of therapeutic application. Before this, I am very briefly touch a small introduction of yoga and a little detailed about a traditional yoga, how it is different with the pseudo yoga. Now, slide is changing, madam. My slide is moving.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, madam. Now it is just deals with the introduction to yoga. Absolutely, the term yoga is extracting from the Sanskrit root with the two words called yuz and yuzil. When we see the depth meaning of these two, yuz means to unite and yuzil means to integrate. Generally, what is unite and integrate? There are n number of classical texts of yoga is talking on the core definition of yoga, that is Jivatma Paramatma Samyogo Yoho Yoga. So the integration of individual soul with the universal soul, that is the concept of unite. Whereas the integrate, the various components of physical, mental, emotional faculties are going to be integrated to become to perfection. That is integrate. So though these are the two terms serving in the same purpose, enlightenment of the individual from lesser levels to the higher levels. Absolutely, yoga is serving in the aspects of an art, a science, and a philosophy. Yoga is an art which is fit for the every individual for his professional as well as artistic life. And second thing, yoga is absolutely a science where modern science itself is accepting with its in-depth various research aspects. And absolutely, the final core and aim of yoga is a philosophy which takes our journey from beginning to the end. That is Nadinam Sagoro Gatim, Jivatma Paramatma Samyogo Yoho Yoga. When we see the profound aspects of yoga serving in the individual, absolutely yoga helps for physical body, mental body, emotional balancing, social acceptable behavior. Finally, it helps for spiritual enlightenment. Moreover, yoga is a practical method for making one's life being purposeful, useful, finally noble. This is the fundamental aim and objective of yoga. Then coming to the importance of yoga in our day-to-day life, yogic lifestyle. Yoga is a part of the Indian lifestyle. Real comforts lives in health means Shariram Madhyamam Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. Body is an instrument to perform our dharma. So it must be healthy. That health is regained by the yoga only. Those who are practicing yoga as a daily ritual, not as on the occasional basis, daily ritual, as Patanjali mentioned, Satudidhyakala Nairantarya Satkari Sevita Drudavumi, will be experienced a great deal of peace and peace of mind and joy in their day-to-day life. The people who are rigorous practitioners of yoga always think in a positive way and lead their life in a happy and self-contented. We have the Prachaksha Pramana of the sadhakas as well as the spiritual pramana of the ancient authentic books. Yoga has got the potential to bring prosperity and happiness anybody from any profession. We have the wonderful reference. Yoga is fit for the every individual that I will show you in the next slide. What is the one of the innovative approach of yoga which is not in any other approaches means that we can evident by this reference. People are attracted to yoga with one or other than the following aspirants means. Generally, yoga for fit and suitable for the purpose of self-realization, that which gives liberation and moksha. Yoga is also gives and provides expansion of consciousness by developing prajna. Yoga is very much suitable for development of paranormal powers, which are called siddhis, supernatural powers, that they are discussed detailed in various yoga texts. And the last two, which are very need of the hour for the modern lifestyle and modern people, is yoga is one of the best approach for promoting positive health. That is, yoga served in the aspect of swasthya, good health. And if not, there is no health. Yoga is also extending its service for the purpose of treatment the so-called psychosomatic disorders. That is yoga therapy, which is called as chikitsa. This is absolutely true. And now coming to one of the best reference taking from the Bhagavad Gita, as I am approaching the traditional yoga system. This is Lord Krishna's Bhagavan Pramanam, the fourth chapter Jnana Yoga, the slokas 1 and 2. Imam vivasvat yogam proktavan ahamavyayam vivaswan manavo praha manurvikshakavo abravit. Lord Krishna is addressing either the jnanam or yoga is passing through the lineage parampara. Then what it means? Lord Krishna taught yoga or jnanam to the Vaivasvat, Vaivasvat to Manu, and Manu to Ikshvaku. Then it is going smooth. But unfortunately, due to the ignorance and the negligence, this lineage was disconnected. That he is explained in the Slokam Slokam. Evam parampara praptam emam rajashayo viduhu. Sakalena mahata yogo nasta parantapaha. This lineage, which is coming from the parampara agatam through the Rajarshiyo Viduhu. So from the Lord Krishna to Vaivasvatu, Manu, Ikshvaku, and the great noble rishis and kings, it was practiced. But in the course of time, Kalena Mahata, Yogo Nasta Parantapaha, it was disconnected due to ignorance and negligence. This knowledge of yoga came through the many generations in the lineage, royal sages and kings. But in the course of time, this was disconnected. That is the main cause for inviting unwanted pseudo yoga practices. That is, this is an evident. what are the misconceptions of yoga, why we are disconnected to the ancient traditional lineage of yoga system means, as we are not carrying this for the next generations out of our ignorance and negligence, which is referred in the Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Jnana Yoga. Now, rope yoga, which is not necessary. Power yoga, aqua yoga, beer yoga, goat yoga, because of these unwanted interventions by the people. The main core traditional yoga system was slowly fade out. So, it is my appeal through the intellectuals, traditional yoga Gurukula system, and the authentic institutions and universities. It is the time to re-establish what is the true traditional yoga system for the benefit of the public and society. Absolutely, by these pseudo yoga systems, we never get any benefit. And moreover, instead of that, we lost what is the true traditional yoga system, which serves the every individual. This is a text reference. The people lost interest in yoga, traditional learning of yoga also become extinct. So that is the cause for rope yoga, goat yoga, beer yoga, aqua yoga, etc. In this situation, reconnecting the modern people with the ancient traditional yoga system, that is the only way to live healthy and happy. That is yoga kshemam vahamyaham, as per the Bhagavad Gita reference. Now, then coming to what is ancient traditional yoga system, coming in the process of lineage means, whenever you go, either the Hatha Yoga or Raja Yoga and other yoga systems, the major yoga curriculum is based on Yamanimas, the essential fundamental principles, where every text and tradition is talking before as the preparatory yoga practices. Later on, build the yoga curriculum on the fundamental principles. One is asana, next one is pranayama, bandha, meditation, mudra, kriya. These are the integrated approach of yoga, which is strongly established for the fruitful, purposeful results for the every individual and professional. Before introducing the traditional yoga system, I am proud to say my lineage coming from the 18th century Tirumalai Krishnamacharya, who belongs to the Mysore, who established the Vinyasa Yoga system. And in this lineage, the world popular yoga guru called B.K. Iyengar and Pattabi and two more. And from this parampara only, Dr. Krishna Bhatt, from his lineage, Dr. A. Rajendra Reddy, who is my guru. In this Acharya's lineage, we are seriously, sincerely taking the traditional yoga system for the purpose of social welfare on par with the academic development. Then let us understand what is the scope of traditional yoga system. In the course of yogic module, as we are talking on asana, pranayama, mudra, bandha, kriya, meditation, recitation, relaxation, these systematic practices are help us for every personal, professional, and social life. This systematic integrated approach alone can be able to useful for clear understanding, easy to practice for everyone, irrespective of any limitation. One of the best reference from the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, yoga can be practiced by all people, irrespective of any limitation. This is an evidence. That is, Yuva Uruddho Ativuruddho Va Vyadito Durbalopi Va Abhyasa Siddhimapnoti Sarva Yogo Swatantritaha. So, yoga can be practiced by all age groups. For example, Yuva, youth, 11 years and above, all can be practiced. Old age, 60, 70, 80 years people also can practice it. Very old age, 100 and plus years of aged people also can be practiced, and it is evident. There are n number of people who are in our surroundings, they are practicing yoga even after 100 years. And Vyadhi, any type of patients and sick people also can be practiced with the selected yogic module, not all. At the same time, durbhala, the people who are very weak, even to walk, they also can be practiced. This is the profound suitability of a traditional yoga system for the people. This is just a small evidence. Yogic practices for all age groups. Yuva, Vruddhova, Ativruddho, Vyadito, Durbhalopiva. All can be practiced. This is one of the wonderful scope of yoga, which is fit for all. Then coming to the method of traditional approach of yoga practice. When we see in the XYZ in the different places, they are practicing and observing yoga as a mechanical, physical practices only, but absolutely it is wrong. When we see the traditional yoga system, it has its own systematic methodology. I am audible and the slide is visible, sir? Madam?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir, and the slide is also moving, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay, thank you. Yes, yes. So this is the systematic yogic module where it is propounded with the traditional system, and we can connect it to the best Patanjali's reference. Prayatna Shaitulya Ananta Samapati Bhyam. So when we are practicing asanas, it is followed by the fourfold method. One, vinyasa, the systematic movements of the body. Two, shvasa, every practice is followed by the one rhythmic breathing. And three, sthiti, every asana has its own final position where we are getting the maximum benefit of the asana. And the last one, drishti, where you are concentrating during the practice. These are the best four practices where we have to seriously observing in the simplest aspect of yoga, that is asanas. Then it is served as far or as more than meditation. So vinyasa, shvasa, sthiti, drishti. In brief, what it is. Every movement of our practice of asanas is followed by the movement as well as breathing. Systematic movement, rhythmic body postures and parts, which is connected with the one systematic breathing called as the Puraka Rechika. In every your rhythmic movements, you are inhaling and exhaling with the more aware. So every asana has its own final position, minimum 30 seconds to 1 minute, where we are getting wonderful general benefits as well as therapeutic benefits to overcome the so-called health issues. And the next one is when you are practicing with the fourfold method, you are getting the wonderful health before entering into the part of health with the traditional approach. This is one of the best reference given by the Ayurveda. Acharya Shushruta defined health in this concept, which is also accepted by the WHO, World Health Organization. Samadosha samagnischa samadatu malakriya prasannatmendriya manah swastha ityabhidiyate. When we see carefully this slokam, the first line is dealing with physiological components. Samadosha, samagnischa, samadatu, malakriya. So, dosha, dhatu, mala, kriya. Dosha, there are three doshas. Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Agni, there are Trayodash Agnis. Pancha Bhutvagni, Sapta Dhatvagnis, one Jataragni. And Sapta Dhatus and Trimalas. All these physiological components, Tridosha, Trayodash Agni, Saptadhatu, and Trimala, when all are in the sama, balanced, then only the invisible components, Atma, Indriya, Manas, becomes Prasannam. There is a very good statement is there in English. A sound mind in a sound body. Always a healthy mind in a healthy body. So when you are maintaining the healthy body, it promotes the healthy mind. As just like this sloka. So Acharya, Vagbhata and Shushruta, they are defining health is nothing but the equilibrium state of the physiological components as well as the unseen mental components like Atma, Indriya, Manas. So for this purpose, Yoga Sarod is the far better one of the reference given by Hatha Yoga Pradipika. Hatam vina Raja Yogaya, Raja Yoga vina Hataha. When you are moving with the basic Hatha Yoga concepts like Asana, Pranayama, Mudra, Bandha, Kriya, automatically your mind is getting refined and it is fit to practice Antaranga Sadhana like Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. That we can connect it to this definition given by the Ayurveda. How traditional yoga system alone will support and promote the health means, because this is one of the wonderful concept taking from the Upanishad called Taittiriya Upanishad. Yoga understood the body as not a single component, it is a integrated component. We are Panchabhutatmakameva Shariram. Body is made up of Pancha Mahabhutas. That is Annamaya Sharira, Pranamaya Sharira, Manomaya Sharira, Vijnanamaya Sharira, Anandamaya Sharira. So, when the body is made up of Pancha Mahabhutas, your intervention of yoga also must reach the every layer, not any single layer. So, unfortunately, most of the external interventions, while we are training the body or treating the body, we are looking the body only in the physical perception in most of the approaches. But wonderfully, yoga alone can be able to see the body in all their 5 aspects. This is resulted that yoga have the wonderful scope, very good practices which are directly addressing and applying on these various koshas of the body. Let us, for example, in the yoga, there are some suitable practices which are directly applied on the so-called kosha or layer of the body. Let us take an example. Annamaya kosha, physical body that will be trained and treated with the interventions of asanas, kriyas and ahara. Then coming to the pranamaya kosha, pranic body can be stimulated with the various yogic breathings called pranayama techniques, which are collectively called as ashtakumbhakas. Then manomaya kosha, that will be stimulated with the antaranga sadhanas like dharana and dhyana. Vijnanamaya kosha, that is refined with the true knowledge called as swadhyaya. And finally, Anandamaya Kosha, all our happiness, bliss is nothing but with our actions. So, with the help of Taittiriya Upanishad, as we are understanding that body is not one, it is the 5 layers. And fortunately, yoga curriculum, yogic module is designed, wonderful practices which are directly applying on the each layer exclusively and separately. This innovative suitability from the body and from the yoga is directly surely helping for integrative approach for yoga therapy, the surest result oriented practices. Just this is in brief. There are how the annamaya sharira, physical body is supported with the so-called practices is yogic diet, ahara, shat kriyas, various kriyas, and the n number of asanas are working on the physical body. Various yogic practices described to yoga maintain physical fitness and health. They bring the positive effects on the physical body to maintain the good health. Here is an Hatha Yoga Pradipika reference how asanas will promote the benefits means. One of the authentic texts in yoga called Hatha Yoga Pradipika is giving the reference Hatasya Pradamangattvadasanam Purvamuchyate Kuryatadasanam Stairyam Arogyam Angalagavam. So don't neglect the physical practices. Asanas is a mere physical exercise. It is serving far better than the external. So every text of Hatha Yoga tradition is first keeping asanas first. What is the role and importance of asanas means Stairyam Arogyam Cha Angalagavam. It gives us the steadiness of the body and mind. It provides freedom from all the diseases and improves the good health, and it makes the body light to meet our day-to-day activities in a healthy, happy way. This is the reference from Therapeutic. Then coming to the importance of a food in handling the body, physical body. Absolutely, we have the n number of references from the various resources. Food is one of the main cause for our good health. The reason is annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavaha. Yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajna karmashu samudbhavaha. The best Bhagavad Gita reference. The body is nourished and sustained by the food only. So food has the major healing capacity. So we must respect the food while we are taking quality, quantity, and attitude, the mood. This is the reason Bhagavad Gita also giving one more reference. Yuktahara viharasya yuktachestasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. So on par with the food, ahara, our vihara and chesta must be good, what we simply called as a lifestyle. So in supporting with the food, you must maintain some good lifestyle. This is given by Bhagavad Gita reference. Now I am giving the direct reference given from the Therapeutic. How profound it is to understand even for the common man. What is the impact of food on our body means. Susnigdha madurahara chaturdamsha vivarjitaha bhujyate shiva sampritya vitahara savuchyate. A profound sloka which smartly explaining how to take the food. Susnigdha madurahara. The food which we are taking is must be having some quality of food. Susnigdha madura, which is easily digested and a little tasteful food. Madura doesn't mean that it is sweet. It is a tasteful and it is easily digested. Chaturdamsha vivarjitaha. It is talking about the quantity of the food. Susnigdha madurahara is talking on quality. It must be tasteful and easily digested. Chaturdamsha vivarjitaha, it is talking about the quantity, where we are stomach is understood as the 4 parts. 2 parts, half alone filled with the food, and 1/4 is filled with the water, and the next 1/4 must fill with air, means kept empty. Chaturdamsha vivarjitaha. And coming to the mind, bhujyate shiva samprityai. While you are eating, the entire time must be having some awareness and concentration on what you are eating and how much you are eating. That is moderation, mood of the time while you are eating, instead of distraction, watching here or there. Focus your mind, because we must understand feeding the body for the purpose of satisfying the divine being who is inside. Aham Vaishwa Naro Bhutva Praninam Deham Asritaha Pranapana Samayuktam Pachamyanam Chaturvidam. So there is one invisible divine or fire is there inside. We must have that awareness while we are eating. So it is a profound sloka talking on the quality, quantity, attitude during the eating. And finally, mitahara means definitely it must be a moderate diet. This kind of specification of taking the food will give us very good health, undoubtedly, from the extracting from the authentic texts of yoga. Now, asana part is over, food part is over, coming to close to the next part called as kriyas. This is one of the profound practically designed activities in yoga called kriyas, a purificatory techniques, which are mostly the 6 called as shat kriyas. This kind of feasibility and facility only in yoga, not in any other approaches, that you can understand. Hatha yoga, the first of all, we take care of the body for purification of the 6 methods. Absolutely, body is timely producing impurities called as mutra, purisha, sweda. These impurities must be timely eliminated. Otherwise, that is the cause of accumulated diseases. these accumulated diseases slowly become as a chronic diseases. So by the any means, particularly with the help of yoga or naturopathy or yoga or our the methods of Siddha, Unani or the aim lifestyle, somehow we are able to expel the timely produced impurities of three. If not, we suffer with the so-called diseases. So Hatayo Pradipika is insisting the role of Kriya is Meda Sleshmadika Purvam Shatkarmani Samacharet Anyastu Nachiretani Doshana Samabhavataha. Meda Sleshma Kapha. So these before accumulating these excess Vata Pitta Kapha, Mutra Purusha Sweda, the body must be properly eliminated with the help of Shatkriyas only. And just brief, what are the Shatkriyas for our understanding? Dauti, Basti, Neti, Trataka, Naulikam, Tada, Kapalabhatis Chetani, Shatkarmani, Prachakshate. Majorly they are 6. When we go in the different texts, they are making it little more classification where it is increasing more than 6. But majorly these are the 6. Dauti, Basti, Neti, Trataka, Nauli, Kapalabhati. Wonderfully, as it is the divine subject created by the divine being God, he designed every Kriya is able to purify all inlets of the body, inlets and outlets of the body, what we call the Navarandras. These 6 Kriyas aiming, purifying all the inlets and outlets of the body. For example, Dauti is helping for cleaning alimentary canal from mouth to the stomach, anus, upper digestive tract. Basti, it is a Kriya washing the lower digestive tract, that is anal, rectum and large intestine. And in Neti, it is a process of cleaning the respiratory disorder, starting respiratory passage from nose to the pharynx to larynx up to the throat. And Trataka, one of the technique of concentration, which eliminating the impaired vision, Drishti doshas. And Nauli, a method of massaging the abdominal organs by rotating the circular, clockwise and anti-clockwise directions. And the last one is Kapalabhati, a rapid breathing technique which eliminating the accumulated kapha, excess kapha placed in the frontal portion of the brain, that is Kapalam, skull. So this is the wonderfully designed kriyas which are taking care of all our passages of our body, inlets and outlets. One, eliminating the impurities. Two, strengthening their function. This is scope only in yoga, not in any other method. Just it is a pictorial description. Dauti, a 15 hand span of cloth, approximately 4 meters cloth, is swallowing inside through the mouth and fill the stomach and bring outside. And Vamana Dauti, it's a water, 2 liters of water drinking and vomiting. Basti, water is sucking into the anus and pulling outside. Neti, classified Jalaneti, Sutra Neti. Some lukewarm water is pouring from right nostril to the left and in the reverse left to right. And in the thread, a special made thread called Sutram, he is moving through the nose and bringing through the mouth, right and left. Trataka, a special gazing technique with the eyes towards a small dot or light. And the last one is Nauli, a systematic abdominal massage. The abdominal organs is moving, rotation, clockwise, anti-clockwise direction. And Kapalabhati, a rapid air flow, blowing air systematically, which purifies the excess from placed in the frontal brain, that is Kapalam. These are the systematic 6 kriyas which are taking care either to preventive or to curative aspects of our health and body. And the next last one is mental development by the Antaranga sadhanas. There are some specific practices taking care of the pranic body and mental body, that is various pranayama techniques. Absolutely, as per the science as well as the Shastram, various pranayama techniques have their own control over the mind. As Patanjali mentioned, Prachadana Vidrana Bhyamba Pranasya. Dharana Sucha Yogyata Manasaha. So mind is stable, controlled by the various breathing techniques, majorly that is Shitali Pranayama, Brahmari Pranayama, and Surya Vedana Pranayama. And the emotional development, Antaranga sadhanas, certain devotional sessions as well as meditation will take care of the invisible mind for its enlightenment from the lesser levels to the higher levels. And the last one is, yes, it's over. So when we see the profoundly, traditional yoga system will taking care of our practice in moving such a way, all the five koshas will be directly treated or trained with the so-called yogic practices. This is the success of a secret in maintaining the good health. Now coming to, as I told, traditional yoga system is over. How this traditional yoga system will help for therapeutic aspects means yoga therapy for positive health. Ancient times, the classical science of yoga was developed by the seers and methods as we discussed. We have the n number of Purveshamapi Gurus, Rishis, and sages who are in this lineage. They are all helping for mental transformation, personality development, and expansion of consciousness with the integrated approach of yoga, what we understood as positive health. But the certain specific Hatha Yoga practices use this purpose to address the psychosomatic disorders as they named as yoga therapy, just like treatment for various chronic diseases. Here I am going to brief, not a little detailed, because the text is insisting Guru Upadishta Margena. When we are going to take a initiation or a training, we must learn under the expertise teacher to stop the unwanted complications. So here I am briefly presenting what are the major diseases are easily treated with the so-called systematic traditional practice of yoga. Yoga remedy for back pain and gastritis. As we are serving in this field along many years, out of my experience, not only by the mere bookish knowledge, I am presenting yogic remedy for back pain and gastritis. This is scientifically proved by the research studies. Some selected practices are wonderfully served in two ways. One, either to prevent the back pain or to treat the back pain on par with gastric problems. The reason these practices are directly addressing front in the stomach and abdomen and in the back, the entire spine, particularly the lumbar, usually where back pain comes. Let us see the first asana, Pavana Muktasana. The name itself is very apt. Pavanam means air, which is accumulated in the stomach. Vimukta means release. So upper gastric problem, which is unwantedly accumulated in the stomach, that will be in the intestines, released by the Pavana Muktasana. Underlying effect is it stretches the lumbar vertebra, particularly L4, L5, S1, where the back pain is taking risk. The second one, Dvipada Pitasana, where the body is lifted with the help of the two support, Dvipada Pita. One is the feet and the other one is the neck and head. This is the best remedial practice for back pain. And the next two are wonderfully Bhujanga and Shalava, which we can see, the snake and the grasshopper, the representation of speed, active, and energy. So the entire spine, which is the cause of three pains due to our wrong lifestyle: back pain in the lumbar region, cervical spondylitis in the neck region, and sciatica in the sacral region. All the three pains are easily, properly eliminated by these systematic practices. This is scientifically proved and easily experienced by the patients who are regularly practicing. Something on par with these diseases, these practices also beneficial for the so-called cardiac complaints and which overcome the bypass surgeries. Back bending asana, this is the scientific study from the book called Matter of Health by the best yoga practitioner as well as the doctor, one of the good disciple of Iyengar, Dr. Ramakrishna. Backbending asanas maintain elasticity of respiratory muscles and more oxygen carrying capacity to the lungs are improved. A variety of lung disorder are eliminated by the deep breathing in during the backbending asanas called bronchitis, asthma, allergies, including the so-called infections. All are eliminated by this group of asanas. As old age is approaching, the respiratory system becomes stiff and sluggish. It can be eliminated by the backbending asanas. This is a scientific study given by the Dr. Ramakrishna in his book Matter of Health. And what are the general benefits given in the Adaya Upadipika textual reference? Dehagni vardate nityam sarva roga vinashanam. By Jagarti Bhujangi Devi Bhujangasana sadhana. When you are practicing the Bhujangasana, what are the benefits? Means Dehagni vardate. One kind of Agni which is invisible, that will be increased. Nityam. Sarva roga vinashanam. It is preventing most of the diseases. So it increases the appetite, improve digestion, eliminates constipation by improving the bowel movements in the large intestine, colon. The so-called neck muscles in Bhujangasana and Shalvasana are stretched and the thyroid gland is stimulated for the proper secretion of thyroid gland. It also removes excess fat around the hip and buttocks. These two asanas strengthening the spinal cord, beginning to ending, that is from the cervical to coccygeal. And it also eliminates back pain and prevents back pain. It strengthens the thigh and leg muscles. It improves digestion and cures gastric problem, which are the asanas means. These are the 4 practices: Pavanamuktasana, Dvipada Pitasana, Bhujanga, and Shalava. Next, coming to a yogic remedy for migraine and eye problems. Yes. We have the wonderful reference, the role and importance of Kriyas. Previously, we discussed it. These Kriyas are preparatory practices as well as curative practices, eliminating the accumulated biological waste, urine, stools, and sweat. At the same time, it is a preventive practice of Meda Shleshmadika Purvam. Vata, Pitta, Kapha imbalances are also bringing to the balance. For the so-called migraine, etc. This is the wonderful remedial measure as well as treatment practice. Neti. We have the textual reference. Sutram vitisistudam nasa nale praveshayat mukan nirgamayay chesha neti siddhayni gadyate. This is the explanation of methodology. Usually, when we are getting the various respiratory disorders like the allergies, bronchitis, polyps, septum deviation, we have to use this medication long many days, which sometimes gives the side effects. Whereas the natural procedure in yoga will either prevent or completely treat. This is experienced only by the practitioners. How means? See the reference benefits. Kapala Shodini Chaiva Divya Drishti Pradayini Jatrudha Jaturogayam Nitirashu Nihanticha. Kapala Shodini Chaiva means wherever the excess of mucus or phlegm is placed in the frontal portion of the brain, that is the forehead, and the sinus cavities, submandibular, sublingual, all are eliminated by doing lukewarm water jalaneti and sutraneti. A special thread is prepared, inserting in the nose, bringing out in the mouth, apply in the both nostrils. This makes Jatrudvam Jaturogayam Netirasu Nihanchida. Here they mentioned Jatru means a clavicle bone, urdhvam above. So whatever the respiratory disorders placed above the neck is going to be eliminated. This is evident by the text. So Neti is the cleaner of the brain and the providing divine sight. That is the reason. Divya Drishti means all senses functions will be improved better. It destroys all the diseases which manifest above the throat, like cold, sore throat, tonsils, dry cough, inflammatory, bronchitis, allergies, by the 15 days continuous practice, including migraine, where there is no remedy by the modern medicine, is completely treated with this so-called Januneti and Sutraneti. In addition, it makes the mind and the nervous system very calm and quiet, which promotes the sleep and eliminating sleep disorder called insomnia. It is a beneficial while it is dealing with the asthma patients also. Add-on pranayama practices. Next one is Trataka. It is a technique of improving concentration, simultaneously eliminating physical lethargy as well as impaired vision. What is the methodology means? Nirikshe Nischala Drusha Sukshma Lakshim Samahita Ashru Sampata Paryantam Acharye Tratakam Sutam. What is the methodology technique means? We have to sit in a straight spine posture at one hand distance to the object of concentration, either the bindu or the light. When you are continuously focusing our sight and vision towards the object, tear glands are stimulated or tears roll down. By this, impurities present in the eyes are eliminated and the mind is gaining the concentration focus that makes mochanam netraroganam tandradiyanam kapatakam. Whatever the impaired vision, that will be eliminated, and tandra, the physical mental laziness, is eliminated by the practice. But the secret is yatra tratakam gopyam yada hatakapetakam. You must be practiced in isolated practice to promote the concentration, to avoid the distraction. This is a textual reference, right? Then coming to one and the last practice in this treatment of migraine and anxiety, stress, etc. Viparita Karani. What is the scientific aspect behind this means? Usually from the birth to death, the beginning to end of our life, we are either sitting or standing in the normal position. But this is the peculiar specific practice for a particular time, for a specific purpose where we are reversed. That is the reason. Viparita. Karani means shariram, mudra. It is a gesture and a practice where you are reversed for a specific time, for the specific purpose. So, in Sanskrit, Padayo Pradipka, Kshanancha Kinchadadikam Abhyasa Yogena Dine Dine. This practice should be increased gradually, day to day, second by second. By this, Valitam Palitam Chaiva Shanma Shordam Nadrushyate. Nadrushyate disappears, eliminates. What are the symptoms? Valitam Palitam Chaiva. The aging factors, gray hair, folding skin, whatever visible aging factors over the body is going to be nadrishyate, eliminated, shanma shordam, when you practice it for 6 months. Yama matram to yo nityam abhyasit to kalajit. If you practice daily 3 hours, nityam abhyasit means regularly, satu kalajit, you can conquer the time. Means in course of our life, we can overcome the cycle of birth and death. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. This cycle of birth and death we will be overcome. Means eliminating the physiological disturbances, aging process. Finally, we will come out of the cycle of birth and death, which is the, in other sense, understood as the liberation. So, this is one of the important dashamudras, Vipariti Karani mudra, that is beneficial for the so-called migraine as well as anxiety disorders. There is some scientific studies. It improves blood flow around the neck region and stimulates the thyroid function, this posture. By the regular practices, this mudra, digestive system is strengthened and the appetite is increased. If anyone is suffering with the less appetite, they are supposed to practice this one. On par with what are the additional benefits means cramps in the legs due to the less blood circulation, burning feet, usually in the diabetic people, and varicose veins in most of the above 40 aged people of sedentary lifestyle are treated with this mudra. This Viparitikarana mudra is also increasing blood circulation to the head so that either it prevent or to treat the so-called following diseases: anxiety, various types of headache, including the migraine, depression, and insomnia, the sleepiness, all are wonderfully treated. This is proved by the scientific study. This Viparit Mudra also gives good relief for urinary disorders, menstrual cramp, and even menopause. And the last one is a remedy for anxiety and stress. Of course, I have lost 5 minutes only. Yes. What are certain practices will helpful for the so-called anxiety, stress, and depression means this is a well-known familiar practice called as Om chanting. Universally, lot of scientific studies have done on this Om chanting. Fundamentally, it improves concentration so that it reduces the so-called modern disorders related to the mind, anxiety, stress, depression, hypertension, insomnia, all will be slowly minimized by the regular systematic number of practices. Many scientific studies have been conducted at different initiations regarding this Omkaram. Alpha rhythm is nicely synchronized and blood pressure is reduced. Om recitation is done in a lower pitch and prolonged manner, produces parasympathetic predominance and keeps mind calm. So depression and anxiety have been seen reduced by this Om chanting. One of the best Upanishad called Dhyana Bindu Upanishad also mentioning the benefits of Omkaram, that is Prasvo Dahati Papani Dirga Sampraptado Abhyayaha Ardhamatra Samayuktaha Pranavo Mokshadayakaha. So when you are chanting Omkaram in the different way, that is short recitation, long recitation, and the longest recitation, Haswa, Dirga, Ardhamatra, that they are giving burn all sins, bestower prosperity, bestower of liberation. These are the textual reference. But generally for understanding, while we are chanting Omkaram, the sound O must be 1/3 of chanting time and the Makara sound should be 2/3 of time. Suppose, for example, after taking the deep inhalation, while we are chanting, observe this difference. In the entire length of the Om chanting, the Omka O sound must be 1/3 time and the Makara sound should be stretched 2/3 time. Then it gives resonance effect on the mind for getting the so-called benefits which we have discussed. Then coming to one of the wonderful breathing technique called as a Shitali Pranayama. This is one of the peculiar special pranayama where we are inhaling through the tongue. Jihvaya Vayuma Krishya Purvat Kumbhasadanam Shanake Granarandravayam Rechiyat Pavanam Shudihi. The methodology, inhaling the air with the protruded tongue and exhaling with the left nostril. And the text is insisting the so-called diseases are eliminated by this practice. Gulma Plihadikan Rogan Jwaram Pittam Kshudatrusham Vishana Shitali Nama Kumbi Keyam Nihantihi. So these are specifically mentioned the so-called diseases. Gulma, Pliha, Rogan, Jwaram, excess temperature, Pittam, Kshudatrusham, excess thirst and appetite. On par this Vishani Shitali, the various poisonous things present in the stomach and mouth are going to be eliminated by doing this pranayama. It removes the diseases related to the glandular enlargement and spleen. It helps to reduce excess fever, temperature in the body. It will balance the imbalance of the pitta dosha. It helps to minimize the hunger and thirst. It also imbalances the various poisonous substances present in the mouth and stomach particularly. It also helps for the mind to be free from the stress and anxiety. It reduces high BP also. The people who are suffering with insomnia, sleeplessness, they are getting benefit, but they have to do twice a day, not less than 18 cycles in each attempt. The regular practice of this also helpful for reducing the hair fall as well as improving the hair growth by the textual reference and pramanam. And the last pranayama, which is similar like Omkaram, that is called Brahmari pranayama. We all know means Brahmara means bee, which is producing some humming sound. This rhythmic resonance makes the mind very quiet and calm. Vegat Gosham Purakam Brunganadam Brunginadam Rejakam Mandamandam. Yogindrana Mevam Abhyaso Yogajit Chitte Jataka Chidananda Leela. Chit Ananda Leela. It is providing everlasting bliss to the mind, overcoming the anxiety and modern psychological disorders. So, this systematic Brahmari Pranayama is relieve stress and tension then and there. It helps to reduce anger, anxiety, and insomnia. The systematic vibration produced by this Brahmani pranayama creates soothing effect to the mind and the nervous system to become quiet and calm. This provides everlasting ecstasy to the sadhaka. And I am concluding with this last slide called Sagarbha Pranayama. I don't go too much details on this. A pranayama which is add-on mantra during the inhalation exhalation is called Sagarbha Pranayama. We know various pranayamas are doing inhalation exhalation, and this process of inhalation exhalation, you add a mantra which is likely to your mind. That is called Sagarbha Pranayama. Sagarbha Chitta Chanchalyam Vinashayatsa Sattvaram Ayuru Vriddhi Sattva Shuddhi Roga Nivrutti Revacha. This is given by one of the authentic text called Yoga Rasya, belongs to the 4th century by Nadamuni. So these are the wonderful practices in yoga, traditional practices as it is given by the text without any unwanted modifications will help you for better health, to eliminate ill health. This is one of the last practice called Shavasana. Uttanam Shavavad Bhuma Shayanam Tat Shavasanam. Shavasanam Srantiharam Chitta Vishranti Karakam. When you are intensely relaxing the body and mind, that eliminates most of the physiological strain and fatigue, also providing good rest and relaxation to the mind. This is my last slide. And yes, Dhanyavada. In case of any queries, doubts, I will help you from my side. Thank you very much, madam. I keep in mind it is 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. Really, we enjoyed it and learned many things, which is really needed for the need of the hour. Sir, actually, I myself want to ask a question. What is the role of Surya Namaskar in diabetes mellitus, sir? Could you add a note on it, sir?
Surya Namaskar is one of the systematic, profound design of various asanas. Surya Namaskar is not a asana, it is the combination of 9 or 12 or 17 systematic bodily movements. When we are moving the body in such a way, there are some specific Pada Hastasana, that is Chaturanga Dandasana, Urdhvamukha Shvanasana, Adhomukha Shvanasana. The scientific movements of the body can be able to work on the endocrine glands, and particularly the gland called, which is for diabetes. They are improving the secretions. When the proper secretions are improved, that is helping for filtering the excess sugars in the blood. That helps for minimizing the blood levels, sugar levels in the blood, which helps for the diabetic patient. But one caution is, as from the perception of yoga, we should not go straight to the Surya Namaskara practice, because there are some advanced movements, forward bending, lateral stretching, and just Adhomukha, Urdhvamukha. We need some basic preparation before going to the Surya Namaskara. After getting perfection Surya Namaskara, we have to do the more number, not less than 10 or 18. Then only we will get the effect of Surya Namaskara. Until that, we may get some benefit of flexibility, but not working on the therapeutic aspect. Once you are getting the perfection, then it is working on the glands for proper secretion, which helps for maintaining the insulin balance. This is the brief of Surya Namaskara role in diabetic control.
Sir, what are the other asanas or mudras which we can prefer to the diabetic patients, sir?
Medical field is promoting three asanas with a research study. One is Paschimottanasana, next one
Mm,
is Ardhamaschandrasana, and the
mm,
third one is Halasana. These are scientifically proved by the medical field itself. These are exclusively working the glands and helping for reducing the diabetes. But actually, these are the three advanced asanas. We must add on some preparatory practices before going to perfection in these three asanas. Regarding the asana and regarding the kriya, there is one kriya that is naudi,
mm.
moving the churning the abdomen and stomach for stimulating the digestive organs. This is also
Sir.
exclusively for diabetes. And in
Mm.
addition to this kriya, and one more rigorous practice called pranayama bastrika. This is also exclusively working. So some selected asanas, important pranayama, and effective kriyas all together. Previously, I discussed integrative approach that can surely address by add-on moderation in food also. Integrated practice is surely in a month and 2 months they can see the difference. How best it helps for the diabetic patients. Right.
Okay, sir. Sir, what diet we can add, sir? Could you add a note on it regarding to the same patient?
I don't want to discuss too much on diet because we have the n number of sources to be get good diet. But the thing is, whether we follow or not, that is left to the individual choice.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
But the most Shastram is telling moderation means fit to your body type, quantity,
Okay,
quality
sir.
that we must be more aware. Where the types that matters, individual type, right, madam?
Because depend upon the age also, some way the in the early people, in the young people also, we are now seeing diabetes, and in the middle age people also, it was like what we can say, in every house that is like a relative type. It has become such thing.
Definitely, I insist that yoga reach the every person and family. Then they can
Mm.
over. Now, recently, some movements are there. Har Ghar Dhyan, Ghar Ghar Yoga. Our Honorable Prime Minister is initiating these programs where the Ayush is also promoting. So, luckily,
Absolutely,
we
sir.
take this now homeopathy, Ayurveda, this Ayush influence and prominence is more and more to stop the unwanted side effects by the allopathy. So I wish from the point of
Mm.
yoga has to be practiced by the every individual and the family. Then we can overcome.
That is much needed, sir.
Yes, yes.
Actually, that is much needed for their not only to overcome the stress or the something else which they will be facing in their lifestyle, to maintain themselves in a better way also, that is much needed for their daily life also.
Wonderfully, what I am going to be understand is Ayush, Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy. These I thought these five are the Pancha Pandavas, which are going to fight with the 100 so-called modern
Let's
diseases.
see, sir. Literally, fight has to be started, sir. Not in a competitive way, sir. In a healthy way. It's not like denying the other system. It
Definitely.
was like a healthy environment way. Yeah.
Alternative approaches will
Yes.
never be competitive.
Absolutely, sir.
It
Absolutely.
is the alternative to
Yes. Yes, sir.
this one, this one.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the clearing all the doubts. Any participants have any doubts? They can clear actually.
This one.
Hope they were clear with the topic also, sir.
Thank you.
I hope so because
Anyway, I am insisting
we
a lot of
literally enjoyed the today's session in such a way. We have learned many new things and regarding the new system. Like it's not like that we didn't know like some other which is the particular things we can follow for particular things like that. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Looking
thank
forward for many more sessions from you.
you.
It's our
Thank you.
privilege to be on the board. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad.
So thank you all the participants, and that's all for today. And we'll be right back soon. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.